Welcome back in. It's another edition of Inside the Tornado, presented by Walk-Ons. I'm your host, Chris Mangrum, and joining us today is our head baseball coach, Blaine Brown. Coach Brown, thanks for stopping by.
Absolutely.
Well, you guys have played a lot of baseball since the turn of February. What have you learned about your team in some of your early contests?
I've learned that we're injury prone. First and foremost, we've been hit with the injury bug here early, which has been kind of rough just to get going positional wise and on the mound, but hopefully we'll get guys back, getting the conference, getting ready to get started here. We got a few guys that are hopefully be back, if not this weekend, next weekend, which would be huge. Get those guys back. So far, I really like this group.
Yeah.
Even though the record isn't where we want it to be, the mentality and the mindset of these guys has been really good, and so that's really encouraging going forward.
Well, the early story of your season, outside of the injury stuff, is the offense. You guys have been hitting a lot of home runs. You've got 23 home runs last year in 46 games, 15 home runs in your first 8 games this year. Where's the uptick in power coming from?
Well, Coach Strader, our strength and conditioning coach, has been taking some credit for the weight room, so shout out to Coach Strader. But some of it goes through recruiting. The guys we brought in, our lineup's different dynamic than what it was last year. Some of it's the ballparks we played in that plays a factor. We have hit some, and we haven't played a lot of games at home, and our ballpark is not super home run friendly. So we've taken advantage of some ballparks that we played in, and guys got barrel the ball, and we've hit a few, which is encouraging in one end, just because some of the ballparks we play in our league are hitter friendly, but we got to make sure that we don't get caught up in that mindset, because it'll humble you real quick.
Sure. Well, let's shift to pitching. You're replacing a lot of production from last year. You're dealing with some arms that are injured, as you mentioned, but that's given you a chance to kind of see what you've got behind those guys. What have been your early impressions from your pitching staff?
Yeah, absolutely. We have our back end of our bullpen has actually been okay. We got to get some better starts with our starters, get us deeper in the game. Our back end of the bullpen has actually been fairly decent. Mitch Kallberg has thrown really well. A converted outfielder, Caden Goodwin, who came in and closed out a big win last week in a huge spot, has pitched well. Jacob Regini is a guy that's kind of stepped up and pitched out of the bullpen and done really well. And our starters will be fine. A lot of things, and I've tried to talk to our team about this, is, this last weekend is only the second full week we've really been outside. So, getting a feel of just getting out and playing, and, the opportunity to be outside, that we don't want to be our best right now anyway.
Sure.
So as long as we keep progressing, moving forward in the conference, we'll be fine.
Well, speaking of Conference Carolina is widely regarded as one of the top, if not the top, baseball conference in Division II. Conference play is coming up soon. What are some of your all's goals this year?
Absolutely. Well, we get all of our new guys are going to get a taste of Conference Carolina as we open up with defending conference champ North Greenville.
Yep.
So they're going to get a taste of what it takes to compete. Here recently has been at the top of our league. So it's a grind. I mean, when I first, this is my 15th year here, but the total time once we went into Conference Carolinas, and it is an absolute grind every single week. There's no easy weekend. You can look at our league record against teams against outside of our league, and it's as good as you're going to find Division II baseball. And I tell our guys, if you want to play in the best Division II baseball conference in the country and want to compete, this is where you go do it. So as far as goals going into it, I want our guys, number one, to just want to compete because of the talent in this league. I want them to make sure that our goal is to go out and compete every single weekend. Ideally, we want to try to, when we go on the road, to minimize our mistakes. That if teams beat you, they just beat you. You don't beat yourselves. And so we talk a lot about just making sure that we're doing what our strengths are and minimizing our weaknesses to make sure that if we're going to get beat, the other team's just going to beat us. And in baseball, that's going to happen. But can we put ourselves in a position where if we get beat that day, the other team just beat us? We didn't beat ourselves.
Right. Well, King Baseball hits the road. As Coach Brown mentioned, they're on the road at North Greenville coming up on February 23rd and 24th as they open their conference season. You can watch their conference games on the Conference Carolinas digital network, home games here on the Tornado Sports Network, and be sure to visit kingtornado.com to learn all about our baseball program. For Coach Brown, I'm Chris. This has been Inside the Tornado presented by Walk-Ons. See you next time.